Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's at-home Pilates for Runners deep core routine. In today's workout, we're going to be strengthening our deep stabilizing muscles. Having good core strength can help you to become a more efficient runner and can help you to prevent injury. We're not going to be using any equipment for this workout, and we're also not going to be working through any sit-ups, as the compressive force of those movements on the spine can sometimes cause problems for runners over time. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. If you would like more of a warm-up and a cool down before and after this routine, I will put links to each in the description below. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start down on the mat, and we're going to begin by warming up the spine and the abdominal wall. So we're going to sit with our legs hip distance apart. We want our ankles, our knees, and our hip bones aligned. We're going to press the palms into the backs of the thighs and just use that pressure to sit up nice and tall, stacking the vertebra one on top of the other. From here, keeping the legs parallel, we're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to slowly tuck the tailbone and gently curve the spine, engaging the abdominal wall, drawing belly button in toward the spine, and then pull back up. So we're going to inhale, tilt the pelvis, curve back, and exhale, pull belly to spine, tightening the abdominal wall to lift. Inhale, come back. Exhale, come forward. Now we're going to release the hands, palms facing in toward each other, arms at shoulder height. We're going to curve back, hold, work that abdominal strength as you pull back up, restacking the vertebra. Now I want you to have a look at your legs. You don't want your knees knocking in or splaying out to the side. We want to maintain that good alignment with the ankles, hips, and knees. Inhale to sink back. Exhale, pulling belly to spine, warming up that abdominal wall. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. The gaze is straight ahead. Good. Inhale and exhale. Keep your heels in contact with the mat. Keep that lower body in alignment as you work into those abdominals. Let's do 3 more. Inhale to come back, maybe come back a little further. Exhale, work the core to lift. Inhale and exhale, belly to spine. Last one, we're gonna come back and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift it up. Nice work. Now we're going to use our hands to help us to come all the way down onto the mat. From this position, we're going to take the right knee in toward the chest. I'm going to take my right hand around my right shin, left hand comes just under the knee, and I'm going to extend opposite leg out long. Now I'm hugging my leg into the frame of the body. Again, working that alignment, ankle, knee, hip, all lined up. Inhale and exhale, switch the legs. Inhale and exhale. So I want you to really point through the toe of the extended leg, and as you breathe out, you're contracting your abdominal wall down toward the mat. Good. Flattening that abdominal wall as we work the alignment of the lower body at the same time. Good work. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to lower the hands by the side and continue that movement without the arms pulling the legs in, working that core strength, working that control. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'd like you to flex both feet, pulling the toes back toward the shins. I'm going to interlace my fingers, take them behind the head, and lift the head so it's resting on top of the shoulders. If this is too much for the neck, simply lower head, neck, and shoulders down. Good work. Drive through the heels as you push each leg out. Make sure those knees, hips, and ankles are tracking in alignment as we strengthen the abs. Good work. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Lower your right leg, lower your left leg. Good work. Now we're gonna come up onto the forearms and strengthen the lower abdominals here as well as the thighs. So we've got our elbows below our shoulders. The chest is nice and open here. Forearms are pressing down onto the floor. No lower back curvature here. We really want to be pushing up through the elbows to support the spine. We're going to lift the right leg, lift the left leg, lower the right leg, lower the left leg. Lift the right, lift the left, lower the right, lower the left. Repeat. Now as you lift up and as you lower down, I want you to do so with core strength and stability. So we're coming up and we're working those lower abs on the way down as well as on the way up. Good. Not collapsing here. We're keeping the chest nice and open. Press up through those elbows and those forearms. Now I want you to squeeze the thighs and point the toes. This will help you to also strengthen the areas around those knees. We need stable and strong knees for running. Good work. We've got 3. Lower with control for 2. Working those lower abs. Last 1. And lower. Now we're going to lead up with that left leg. Make sure that you're not curving through the spine. You're really stable here and lifted through the chest. 1, 2, lower, lower. Lift with the left, then the right. Belly to spine to lower those legs. Good work. I know these are tough, but if you work through this routine a couple times a week, you're going to build strength, endurance, and stamina, both on the mat and during your runs. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Belly to spine to lower. Work those lower abs. Strong lower abs can help support proper hip alignment and pelvic position. Good work. And last set, lift, lift, lower, lower. Now from here, we're going to come up onto those palms. Fingers are pointing toward the end of your mat. The elbows are pulled back behind you. We're going to bend the elbows, extend the legs, and then lift, bringing knees in toward the chest. So the legs are squeezing together here. We're working deep into the core. Extending, inhale and exhale, belly to spine to bring the knees in toward the chest. Inhale and exhale. Lower, straighten the arms to lift. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, bring it in. You don't need to rush this movement. Really focus on drawing your navel deeply in toward your spine as you bring those knees in toward the chest. Inhale and exhale. We've got 5, 4, squeeze legs together. 3, last 2, final 1, and stretch the legs out. Nicely done. Let's roll over onto our forearms. Take the forearms so they're parallel on the mat. Elbows below the shoulders, and just push up into a bit of an abdominal stretch here. Rolling your shoulders down away from your ears for 3 and 2 and 1. Nice work. Now we're going to move into a low plank. So we want those elbows below our shoulders. We're going to flex the feet and lift, creating a nice flat line with the body. So gently push the mat away from you, up through those elbows so you're broad across the shoulders. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, I want you to lift your abdominal wall, keeping that flat line with the body, working deep into those stabilizing muscles here. We're gonna hold. Inhale and exhale. Lift abdominal wall as you breathe out. Inhale and exhale. For 3 and 2 and 1. Lower knees. Now from here, we're gonna go into some side to side low planks. So we're going to change the position of our forearms so that they are parallel with each other. So one in front of the other. And we've got our elbows below our shoulders. From here, we're gonna come up into our low plank. We're going to move to one side, opening and lifting the arm, and then transfer and move on to the other side, lifting. So you have a couple options here. If this is too much, you can lower that bottom knee down to the mat between repetitions. Otherwise, you've got both legs lifted into your side plank. Now, your challenge here is to really keep that lower hip lifted. We're working our obliques here, and we're working our hip alignment. Lifting that lower hip up off the mat, strengthening the side body as you do so. Really important to have this stable base of support, this stable trunk. So no need to rush it. Good. Transferring from one side to the other. Keeping the chest nice and open as you open into your side plank. We've got 3 and 2. And last one, we're gonna open to the side and hold. Now I'm gonna lower my lower leg. You can keep it lifted. If you're feeling strong here, we're gonna lift that top leg. Nice open chest, creating a flat line with the body. We're gonna lift and lower that top leg. Good, abdominals are engaged here. Lower hip is lifted. Working our adductor muscles as we lift and lower that top leg. Keeping those hips stacked, keeping the shoulders stacked. Nice work. Keep that lower hip lifted. Working those obliques, working those hips, working those thighs. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, switching sides. Set yourself up with good form. And move into those leg lifts on the opposite side. Hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked, neck is long. Obliques are working and bottom hip is lifted up off the floor. We've got 5, 4, 3, nice work, for 2, and final 1, lower it down. Amazing work. From here, we're gonna get into position for some bridge work. So I'd like you to lower down one vertebra at a time. Take a couple deep breaths here. Regulate the breath. And now I'd like you to place your hands on your hips. Align your feet so that they are parallel. Your knees and hips and ankles are lined up. Our spine is in neutral here. We've got a little bit of space between the low back and the mat. From here, we're gonna tilt the pelvis forward, and then we're gonna tilt the pelvis back, pressing the low back into the floor, tucking the tailbone. Inhale forward, exhale, tilt it back. Inhale forward, exhale, tilt it back. One more, we're gonna tilt forward, and then tilt back, pressing the low back into the mat. That's the position we want to raise up from our bridge. So we're peeling one vertebra at a time up off the mat, keeping that tailbone tucked as we lift and lower. Lift and lower. Again, focusing on those knees, making sure that the legs are staying hip distance apart here. We don't want those knees knocking in. We want to be focusing on that lower body alignment that will help with stride. As we start to work the glutes, we need to strengthen this area of the body, so we've got good power with push off. We've got 3 and 2. Keep that tailbone tucked, and 1. From here, we're gonna go into some abductions with the knees. So we're going to take the knees wide and then bring them back to parallel. Open the knees wide and back to parallel. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, coming out to the outside of the feet, edges of the feet, and then back to parallel flat feet. Good. Working into the outer and the inner thighs. Quite often the inner thighs are weaker areas for runners and athletes, so it's a great idea to strengthen them with purpose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We've got 5. Abs are engaged here. Tailbone is tucked. For 2 and 1. Now you can either keep your feet flat on the floor with your heels below your knees, or for more of a challenge on those calves and thighs, we can come up onto the balls of our feet. So replacing the heels, the position of the heels with the balls of the feet. From here, we're gonna lower an inch and lift. Lower and lift. Pushing up through the balls of the feet, strengthening those calves, working the glutes and the hamstrings here. Good work. Make sure those hips are balanced and even. Tailbone is tucked. Pelvis is in a healthy position here. Not placing strain on the lower back by overarching the spine. Good. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Drive up and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Lower down. Now from here, we're going to make sure we really targeted those lower abs before we get into some more oblique work. So we're going to work through some reverse crunches. So I'm going to bring my knees in toward my chest, really pressing the palms and the backs of the arms down onto the floor. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to lift the hips, lifting the legs. So your aim here is to really compress your abdominal wall in towards your spine as you lift. Don't worry about how high you get. Focus on those lower abs doing the work to lift and to lower you back down to the mat. So we're not sort of just flopping back down to the mat, you're easing back down with core control. Good. Now, if you want to step up the level of challenge, I'd like you to extend the legs out long between each reverse crunch. Having strong lower abdominals can really help to stabilize your pelvis and your hips. Really important when running. Good. Lifting and extending for 3 and 2 and 1. Take your hands behind your thighs, roll yourself up into a seated position. So now we're going to go into a variation of Russian twists to really make sure that we targeted those obliques. So we want those legs hip distance apart, ankles, knees, and hips lined up. Bottoms of the feet are pressing down onto the floor. Sit yourself up, stacking your vertebra. Now from here, we're going to extend the arms out long, palms facing down, roll down, increasing the tension on your abdominals. We're going to keep the lower body stationary here, twist from the waist, bring the right hand to the right side, covering it with the left, and then over left hand, cover with the right. So you're switching sides as you move. Good. Moving from one side to the other. If this is really strenuous on your low back, I want you to sit up a little bit higher, but still focus on really contracting that abdominal wall in toward your spine. Have a look at your knees. They shouldn't be swaying from side to side. You want your lower body still and stationary, working those stabilizing muscles as you isolate this work in your obliques. Upper abs are working here too. Get as much of a rotation as you can without losing stability as you move from side to side. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Let's pick it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, abs in, 3, 2, you can do it, last one, and back to center, lift yourself up. Amazing work. Now, we're going to finish off with some plank work. We're gonna work through these moves in a high plank. So I'd like you to come to the top of your mat, and we're really gonna focus on our setup here. So we want our wrists below our shoulders, knees below the hips. Through all of our planking, we never wanna be collapsing here. We wanna be really working those postural muscles by pushing the mat away and gently protracting the shoulder blades. From here, I'm gonna curl the toes and elevate the knees so the shins are parallel with the floor, creating a nice flat tabletop with your back. From here, we're gonna step the right leg out, step the left leg out, right leg in, left leg in, just to under the hips, to that starting position. So we're coming out with both legs and stepping in one at a time, maintaining that flat line with the body. Try not to lift up the bum here. Step in, out, out. In, belly to spine, out, out. 2 more sets. Last set. And lower the knees for a moment. We're gonna go into some mountain climbers to finish off. We're gonna be really strengthening the core, working the upper body, and focusing on the alignment of the knees in toward the chest as we do so. So we're gonna bring ourselves up into our high plank. Deep inhale to prepare. We're gonna start off alternating knees in toward the chest, keeping the legs in the frame of the body. And now we're gonna pick up the pace. Good work, driving knees in toward the chest. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Both legs back, knees come down to the floor, nice and wide, and push yourself back into a child's pose. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 3 and 2 and 1. Bring yourself up to a kneeling or cross-legged position. Lift your shoulders up by your ears, inhale, and exhale, roll them down and back. Inhale, lift, and exhale, roll back. For 2, melting away any tension in those shoulders. And last 1. Amazing work. If you'd like more of a cool down, I've put a link in the description below. I hope you enjoyed that core strengthening workout. Be sure to work through this routine a couple times a week to build up that endurance. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again next time.